You're sitting at your kitchen table one night, checking your bank app, and it hits you. You've done everything right. You saved, you avoided dumb debt, you put money into your 401k, and yet something feels off. Because when you actually do the math, retirement doesn't feel relaxing. It feels fragile. Like one bad market year, one medical bill, or one wrong decision could blow the whole thing up. And if that thought makes you uncomfortable, good, because that discomfort is trying to tell you something. Here's the thing. The rules of retirement quietly changed, and most people are still playing the old game. My name is Noah, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who should be financially fine still feel anxious about money. If you're someone who thinks saving a couple $1,000,000 magically equals security, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Because in this video, I'm about to show you why retirement planning today works nothing like it did for your parents, and why missing this shift could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And fair warning, once you see this, you can't unsee it. Most people don't even realize they're being quietly pushed into a broken system, and by the time they do, it's too late to fix. Now look, for decades, retirement was built on one simple assumption. You work for 40 years. You save, you retire around 65, and your money lasts until you don't. Clean, predictable, comfortable. But here's what most people don't realize. That model was designed for a world that no longer exists. Back in 1980, the average retirement lasted about 13 years. Today, it's closer to 20, and for many people, 25 or even 30. That's not retirement. That's a second adulthood with no paycheck. Now here's where it gets interesting. Let's say you retire with $1.5 million. Sounds like a lot, right? But if you pull just 4% a year, that's $60,000 before taxes. Adjust for inflation, healthcare, and market volatility, and suddenly that safe withdrawal rate isn't as safe anymore. In fact, studies from Morningstar and Vanguard now suggest that for long retirements, a safer number might be closer to 3%, which means your $1.5 million only gives you $45,000 a year. And that's assuming everything goes perfectly, but it won't. Now you might be thinking, okay, so I'll just save more. That's the obvious answer. It's also the wrong one, because this isn't just a math problem, it's a psychology problem. Here's what actually breaks people in retirement: sequence of returns risk, which is a fancy way of saying bad timing ruins good plans. If the market drops early in your retirement while you're actively withdrawing, your portfolio doesn't just dip, it gets permanently damaged. It's like trying to refill a bathtub while the drain is wide open. You're pouring money in, but withdrawals keep pulling it out faster than you expect. And this is where people make the most dangerous mistake of all. They assume average returns matter. They don't. Order matters. Two people can earn the exact same average return over 30 years. One retires comfortably, the other runs out of money. Same math, different timing. And nobody warns you about this. Now here's the part that really messes with people, because the advice they hear sounds responsible. Play it safe, move to bonds, reduce risk. But safety isn't static, it's contextual. Reducing risk too early can be just as dangerous as taking too much risk too late. This is where it gets psychological, because humans hate volatility. We feel losses twice as intensely as gains. So when people retire, they emotionally crave stability, even if it mathematically hurts them. They'd rather feel calm today than be solvent 20 years from now. And that emotional trade-off is expensive. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine two retirees. Both have $1 million. One keeps 60% in stocks. The other drops to 30%. Over a 25-year retirement, assuming historical averages, the conservative investor is far more likely to run out of money, not because they were reckless, but because they were afraid. Fear feels responsible, but in retirement, fear quietly compounds against you. Here's what most people don't realize. Retirement is no longer about stopping work. It's about controlling income. That's the new rule. Instead of asking, how much do I need to retire? The better question is, how many income streams can I control when I stop working? Social Security? That's one. A portfolio? That's another. but relying on just those two is like sitting on a two-legged stool and hoping it holds. This is why we're seeing a rise in partial retirement, consulting, rental income, dividends, and flexible work. Not because people want to work forever, but because optional income changes everything psychologically. When you're not forced to withdraw during market crashes, your portfolio lasts longer. When you know money is coming in, you make better decisions. When you're flexible, volatility stops feeling like an emergency. Freedom isn't having more money, it's having more options. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds exhausting. I just want to be done. Totally fair. But done doesn't mean passive. It means intentional. The people who thrive in retirement aren't the ones with the biggest accounts. They're the ones who redesigned their expectations early. They don't think in terms of a finish line. They think in terms of systems. Here's the action step most people skip, and it's the most important one. Instead of asking your advisor, "Am I on track?" ask them, "What happens if the market drops 30% in my first 2 years of retirement?" If they can't answer that clearly, you don't have a plan, you have hope. Second, map your retirement by phases. Early retirement spending is higher. Later retirement spending often drops. Healthcare spikes. Energy changes. Planning with a flat number is lazy. Life isn't flat. And finally, and this matters more than people admit, start emotionally rehearsing flexibility now. The people who panic in retirement aren't unprepared financially, they're unprepared psychologically. They expected certainty in an uncertain world. The new rules of retirement aren't about working longer or saving harder, they're about adapting faster. Because the biggest risk today isn't dying too soon, it's living longer than your assumptions. And once you understand that, retirement stops being a cliff and starts becoming something you can actually manage. If this video added to what you know about money and investment, hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot more to discuss on this channel. Drop a comment and let me know what's one thing stopping you from investing. I read every comment and I genuinely want to know. Thanks for watching. I'll be glad to see you in the next one.